Hey there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith. We're closely watching Francine, now a hurricane in the western Gulf of Mexico, and I want to take a look at what's going on here. We're in storm tracker alert mode here on Fox 10 News as we're closely monitoring the system, alerting you to the potential of impactful weather in our area. And what we'll do is we'll bring up our box here and you can see what's going on with the system. It's located off of Texas, and we've actually seen a little increase in the intensity, enough to make it a hurricane. It had winds of 65 miles per hour. It's been a strong tropical storm all day, but the pressure just dropped, and we do see a burst of convection near the center. You can see that dark stuff right near the hurricane symbol, what is now a hurricane symbol, or about to update to a hurricane symbol. It was a tropical storm, and so that is our hurricane. And up on the northern end of it, we got some light rain going on in our area right now. It's kind of some overrunning precipitation. We do have a stalled front in the area. Looking at our tropical alerts, we are under a tropical storm warning for Mobile County, Baldwin County, Jackson County, and George County in Mississippi. So we have the potential for, we're really expecting tropical storm force conditions within the warned areas starting tomorrow afternoon or evening, with the tropical storm conditions beginning, and they will ramp up tomorrow night. So the hurricane part of the storm is headed towards Louisiana, but we're going to see the tropical storm impacts, and along with that, all the things that occur with a tropical storm. Winds at 40, gusty winds, of course. We'll see some isolated tornadoes in the outer rain bands. We're in the east and northeast flank of the system, so we're going to be on the wet side, and we can see that rotation. We also expect to see tides above normal. So here's a look at the potential impacts in our local area. We are in the orange for the most part, especially in the warned area, and that's where we could see a tornado risk, the winds at around tropical storm force. And we got to talk about storm tide, because the tides are going to be above normal to some degree tomorrow morning, but more so into Wednesday night and Thursday morning, with a high tide on Thursday morning around 6 a.m. It's a real strong astronomical high tide, which means the sun and the moon, the gravitational pull, some days the tide's higher than others just because of those forces. And then when you add in a tropical system, there's going to be more tide on top of that. So if we put 2 to 3 feet on top of a really strong high tide, we're going to see moderate coastal flooding in our area. So places like the Causeway, mouth of Dog River, Alabama Port, the Dauphin Island Causeway, the west end of Dauphin Island, Mississippi Sound area, including by La Battery, could see some coastal flooding. Jackson County, Mississippi, there is a higher risk of coastal flooding. Here's the new update that shows it as a hurricane. Winds at 75, pressure 982. It's moving northeast at 10, and it's right even just to the east of the mouth of the Rio Grande, basically the Texas-Mexico border at the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see how Francine is tracking to the north and east. So where's it going exactly? Well, the forecast track has changed. It's still suggesting Louisiana, but it's shifted from western Louisiana to central Louisiana, and now what really may be more southeastern Louisiana. It looks like it'll go in over some of the marshy areas around Grand Isle, or as far over as New Iberia, Louisiana, in that zone. And it's going to be a close call for New Orleans. New Orleans may see some issues with power outages. I don't think New Orleans is going to flood, but we are expecting to see heavy rainfall. It is an area that is very vulnerable to street flooding and different things, and we certainly will see windy conditions enough to the point that we could have some power outages there. And in southern Mississippi, we'll see if we actually have some spotty power outages in our area, because the track is going to pass right to our west. Stay out of the water. The rip current risk is very high. We have a high rip current risk through Thursday and into Friday, and the forecast models here bring this thing ashore sometime tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. Now, the forecast models are still spread out a little as we look at southeast Louisiana. Some of them bring it right over New Orleans. Some of it bring it right over Baton Rouge. There's a big difference on that, on how it affects our area. The further east it goes, the more intense the impacts will be here. So we're watching this. We're watching the track. We'll just have to see how it plays out. There are kind of some competing forces on the steering flow. You got a ridge over Cuba, you got a trough over Texas, and we'll see how far the trough is along. Now that trough will help too because there's some dry air on the water vapor loop, and we do expect dry air to wrap into this thing as it's coming ashore, and it should weaken it. But you can see the spread. Some of the models are as far over as Perry County, Mississippi, almost to Greene County. And if it takes that kind of a track, of course, our impacts would be more significant with Francine. Keep in mind, we're talking about mainly a tropical storm by the time it reaches the Mississippi coast. But that is a possibility that it could take the eastern side of the model guidance. So we're watching this. We're going to be tracking every step of the way. We're updating our Fox 10 weather app. I just put an app, before I even did this update, I had an update on the app talking about how it was now a hurricane. So if you want the latest information, go to the app. We're keeping it refreshed with new stuff all the time. Here is our Futurecast, and this is our in-house model. And what it's doing is it's taking the parameters that we're seeing and saying, well, this is what we expect to see. We expect the clouds to look like this and the radar to look like this, so you can kind of visualize what a landfalling hurricane would look like over southern Louisiana based on the current timing. So 8 o'clock in the morning, we're probably just going to still see showers in our area. The wind may get a little breezy, especially later in the day. That is Wednesday evening. I expect it to be more intense Wednesday evening, 5, 6 p.m., the core of the storm getting really close to us. We're in the northeast quadrant. We could see some isolated tornadoes in our area. It's likely going to be an active weather day tomorrow. We do expect to see extremely heavy rain Wednesday night. We could get some localized flooding. The storm surge will begin to build in the area through the evening hours, even though low tide is sometime around 4 or 5 o'clock. We're going to start seeing those tide levels rising and overcoming the astronomical tide, and then it'll build with a high tide through the night. Winds stay southerly. The peak of the impacts, according to this version of the Futurecast, would be around midnight, but keep in mind this is just one model, so we don't want to lock on this entirely. And it does bring the circulation up near Columbus, Mississippi by Thursday, which means the drier air will wrap in. I think Thursday afternoon is going to be pretty nice around here. Surge impacts, possible storm surge heights of around 3 to 5 feet. Could be higher as we look at the Louisiana coast with storm surge values of about 5 to 10 feet there. Obviously, we're not getting a direct hit, but we're going to see some impacts here. Wet surf and rainfall totals of about 3 to 5 inches in our area are possible. These tropical systems can dump a lot of rain in a short period of time, and I think the heaviest rain will be Wednesday night. So after this thing passes by, we will see better weather on Thursday evening, Friday, and Saturday. It will dry out some and get to enjoy a decent weekend. But in the meantime, we're watching what is now Hurricane Francine. Yeah, hurricane category 1, could get stronger before it starts to encounter the shear, the dry air on the northern coast. I don't expect it to be rapidly intensifying at landfall, but of course anything can happen. And as we see changes in the forecast, we're going to let you know right here on our platforms like YouTube, Facebook, on fox10tv.com, and again, as we look at it on our Fox 10 weather app and on Fox 10 News. We're going to be on after the debate tonight. We start at 9 o'clock. We'll be on through 10:30. We also expect to see forecasts where we're going to have to keep an eye on this overnight. And tomorrow morning, our morning show is going to be active with tracking this as well through lunchtime tomorrow. And we'll be back on throughout the day tomorrow with updates on Fox 10 News. See you then.